Hello everyone, welcome to School of Alchemy. Today I'm going to talk about this book, Alchemy, An Introduction to the Symbolism and the Psychology by Marie-Louise von Franz. If you're studying Alchemy and Psychology by Carl Jung, especially the Collected Works, Volume 12, this is a good companion book or a reference book. Or if you just want to learn about alchemy and psychology in general, this is a good book too. So let me show you. This is a paperback. This is a shiny paperback. Oh, you can see my reflection. Here it says, Studies in Jungian Psychology by Jungian Analyst. So, let me read a little bit about this book. It was the genius of C.G. Jung to discover the holy technique of alchemy, parallel to the psychological individuation process. This book by Jung's longtime friend and co-worker completely demystifies the subject. Designed as an introduction to Jung's more detailed studies and profusely illustrated, here is a lucid and practical account of what the alchemists were really looking for: emotional balance and wholeness. Okay, let's go in. So, I had this book for about 3 years and it's still good because I think it's well kept. Okay, so let's read this. Marie-Louise von Franz, honorary patron. Studies in Jungian Psychology by Jungian analyst Daryl Sharp, general editor. This is by Inner City Books. Published in 1915 to 1988. Okay, let's read the contents. List of illustration and credits. Lecture 1. Lecture 2 is Greek Alchemy. Lecture 4 is Greek Alchemy and Arabic Alchemy. Lecture 5, 6 is Arabic Alchemy. 7, Aurora Consurgence. 8 and 9 are both Aurora Consurgence. So I'm gonna just flip through the book so you can see what's inside. The illustrations are in black and white, but you will learn a lot from this book. Also, it's an easy read because the fonts are big. I really like book with big fonts because for me, I find it easy. I don't have to wear my glasses, and then I don't have to squint to look at it, and it's very legible. So I like book with, even though it's a medium-sized paperback, it's easy to read it, you know, even the footnotes. I'm gonna go through some of the illustrations later, but right now I just want to show you the contents of the book. Okay, so this book, including index, is 280 pages. So let's start. And I'm gonna read to you the acknowledgement. This book is based on the transcription by Miss Una Thomas of the lecture series presented by Dr. von Franz at the C.G. Jung Institute in Zurich, 1959. The author and publisher are grateful to Miss Thomas for her faithful preparation of the original version. The text in its present form was edited for publication by Darrell Sharp and Marion Woodman. Darrell Sharp selected the illustrations, wrote the captions, and compiled the index. So this, if you see images like this, one of the alchemical symbols that is very common to alchemy. Like this is the male energy, the masculine and the feminine. I'm wondering why this is, okay. Masculine is the sun, feminine is the moon, and the Mercury, the dragon, the globe, winged globe. So if you see these types of illustration, it is an alchemical symbol. Okay, this is the philosophical egg. It's both the birthplace of and container for the new attitudes symbolized by the alchemical goal of the Konjunktio, the union of opposites, male and female, consciousness and unconscious. Here the goal is pictured as hermaphrodite in triumph over the dragon and the winged globe of chaos, strengthening the faces of the unconscious. The 7 planets represent different aspects of personality and the 7 stages of transformation. Okay, so if you're gonna study alchemy, you will also see this illustration because this is the process of psychological development. So these steps, oh, let me read it so it's be more clear. So Mountain of the Adepts, the process of psychological development is analogous to the stages in the alchemical transformation of base matter into gold. You know, when you hear the saying, turning lead into gold, you know, the philosopher's stone here represents as the temple of the wise. Okay. The phoenix, symbol of the renewed personality, straddles the sun and moon. So there's the phoenix, this is the sun and moon. The opposite as masculine and feminine. The zodiac in the background symbolizes the duration of process. So these are the zodiac signs. The 4 elements indicate the wholeness. These are the 4 elements: water, air. This is earth. And what's this? What's ignis? Let me know. The blindfolded man represents the stumbling search for truth. This is the blindfolded man. The right way is shown by the investigator prepared to follow his natural instinct. So this is the investigator or the alchemist, the master alchemist. If you like symbolism, you're gonna love this book because I love symbolism. So I enjoy reading this too. I mean, I like decoding symbols. That's what I mean. I like decoding symbols. Eagle as a symbol of the spirit, by which, according to Jung, the alchemists meant all the higher mental faculties such as reason, insight, and moral discrimination. This eagle looks like a phoenix. Alchemy is at work with his soror mystica, female assistant, representing the collaboration with his own feminine side. You know, even though you're a male, you have a feminine side, and female have a masculine side. But what they're talking about is not being a tomboy or being a gay. They're talking about the energy, the male and female energy. I think you will learn about it if once you study Jung's alchemy or Jung's psychological works. You know, the collected works of C.G. Jung. If you read that, that's a big volume. It's hard to read. You're gonna need a teacher to guide you. Once again, William Blake. William Blake's image of the Godfather as a wise old man with a beard, a typical personification of the self, archetype of wholeness and the center of personality. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the page that I marked. So this is the cover, the Ouroboros. It says that the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail, as crowned dragon, and as winged and wingless serpents. So this is winged, this is wingless, and it's a dragon eating its own tail. So why is it eating its own tail? So according to the Egyptian text, the snake which eats its own tail is considered to be the guardian of the underworld. And it is probably this snake which is invoked here. There you go. It's Osiris. Okay. This is Osiris. He's the one inside the coffin. Osiris in the cedar coffin covered with lead, representing the eclipse of consciousness or depression. Even in the Egyptian era, they know about depression. I like this one. The alchemical sealed vessel, here containing Mercurius as a symbol of the spirit imprisoned in matter. If you study Gnosticism, they believe that we are a spirit imprisoned in matter, meaning in our body, in our physical body as a human. Here is comparable psychologically to a basic attitude of introversion, which act as a container for the transformation of attitudes and emotion. This one is easier to understand. The water of life flows between the opposites. The masculine, the sun consciousness here, represent as sulfur, and the feminine, moon consciousness, symbolized by Mercury or Mercurius, spirit of the unconscious. Conscious, unconscious. And this is the water of the life flows between the opposites of conscious and unconscious. Once again, the connuntio the union of the opposites as harmonious interplay between male water and female fire. This is Arabic alchemy. Okay, I want to read this for you, especially if you are studying alchemy. So let's look at the illustration, because I'm gonna pull this up so we can read the text. The transformation of Mercurius as prima materia in the heated sealed vessel is comparable to cooking basic instinctive drives in their own affect until their essential fantasy content becomes conscious. It says here, instead of arguing with the drives which carry us away, we prefer to cook them and ask them what they want. That can be discovered by active imagination or through a fantasy or through experimenting in reality, but always with the introverted attitude of observing objectively what the drive really wants. So, once in a while, I'm doing active imagination. It is a form of, normally there's a guide, it's either a healer or a doctor or a Jungian psychoanalyst or whoever who knows how to conduct the active imagination. But I do it myself since I studied the course about it, and I listen to the recording of my professor. So during the active imagination, it's like a guided meditation. And then during that active imagination, you're gonna evoke a creature or a spirit. In my case, I normally evoke my spirit animal or conjure it through the active imagination. And through that, I talk to them and ask them whenever I have a problem or things that I want clarity about. That's what I do in active imagination. It's very, very helpful, especially in times that you want to figure out things that's happening in your life. Let's continue. The conjuncture is a fantastic monstrosity, comparable to psychological to the unconscious union of masculine and feminine. Undifferentiated personality. That's what's gonna happen to us if we are not if we didn't go through the process of individuation or doing shadow work. Once again, the conjuncture as fountain, symbol of meaning, of flow of life. Okay, I marked this one because I want to share this with you. So let's look at the illustration first. Okay, the alchemist and his soror mystica, or psychologically his soul. This is the soror mystica, this is the alchemist. Holding the key to the work, here represented as freeing the soul from the fetters of the body. Here, freeing the soul from the fetters of the body, which Jung interpret as a withdrawal of the naive projection by which we have molded both the reality around us and the image of our own character. So, wow, they have a goat here. I'm a Capricorn. So, this is one of the process of alchemy. You know, like separating the soul from the body, meaning The body is unconscious and the soul is the higher self. So once you know how to separate your body from your higher self, you will have a different perspective of life. You will be less reactive. You think before you act, and you don't get bothered right away. It's also, it's like stoicism. That's what they also study. But here, Jung is talking more about the symbolism of the alchemical process, which is a lifelong learning. You cannot learn this in 1 year. This is a lifelong work because you're working on yourself, improving yourself, doing your shadow work. The wisdom of God as anima mundi, world soul, guide of mankind herself, guided by God. So, if you read Carl Jung's book, Psychology and Alchemy, he talks about the anima mundi in detail. Another one, Process of Alchemy. Negredo. Okay, so yeah, I guess we're almost done here. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me in reviewing this book, or getting an overview instead of review. And this is one of the book that I was reading 3 years ago when I was taking my master's degree in transformational psychology and Jungian analysis. And this is very helpful. Okay, so if you just want to learn about symbols, like decoding symbols, alchemical symbols, this book is, I recommend this book. But if you also want to study Jungian psychology, this is very helpful companion, because Marie-Louise von Franz, which is Jung's lifetime friend, she demystified Jung's psychological symbolism or alchemical symbolism. So once again, thank you for watching this video, and I'm really glad that you stayed until the end, because I have a passion for reading books, especially in the field of alchemy, and not many people are into this. So it's really nice to know that someone's out there who are in the same path, same tribe, and same interest. So thank you. I put a link down below where you can find this book. Okay, thanks for watching. See you again next week.